my student assistant counselor came to me and said, we have a need for helping students transition who are new. We just don't have enough. So we put a call out to our staff and said, if you know any students who may be a little bit different than the normal student government, students who are really good with new kids, or friendly, or easy to get along with. We had over 40 students that were nominated, or at least brought forward. We're going to train them and kind of begin that as our ambassadors, kind of expand what we used to have as the pathfinders. New student comes in, they kind of take them underneath their wing and help them move around. Support for the school. One of the other areas that came out of CAPA, and we'll see this in a few minutes, is the idea to expand our school leadership team. Our school leadership team is part of the NCLB committee made up of teachers, students, parents, and administrators, the faculty. We want to expand that, but one of the things that came out, and Tom Honeyman and Bridget Zeno, my librarian, are chairing the school leadership team. We expanded the school leadership team, and one of the things that came out of school leadership team was, what should we focus on? That was the idea coming from CAPA. What should be the priorities of the building? And we probably have 1 and 1A, or 1 and 1. And the priorities that we feel at this time is the ideas that we want to look at culture and climate and morale, but we also want to look at community engagement. And I think that goes back to the first one here. We're going to look at the strength of Pennsauken pride. That is definitely a strength, but we want to keep focusing on that. So that's going to be really, we see that as the thrust of this year, is to continue to look at culture and climate, but at the same time working on that involvement with the community. Again, they were telling us that we had a strength of communication tools. We need to do more with that. Our Naviance system is in the guidance. It allows students to enter data so that other students can make decisions based on SAT scores, where our students go to school, but it's more even a career planner. So that's something we brought in last year, and we're really hoping to move that in a direction where students can log in, they'll track their data, they'll see their information in there, and they can see what do you need to accomplish at Pennsauken High School if you want to do ABC. It's going to be excellent with that. Recommendations, again, we have the training. The school leadership team, I have approximately 13 teachers that have really been committed to this. Is going to be a focus of ways that we can continually reach out to the community. I think we made some good strides in that last year. Perfect example, if it wasn't for our Pennsauken Pride or reaching out to the community, we would never have had our project graduation. So by getting the community involved, we've kind of reinvigorated that option, and the work there is moving in the right direction. We believe it, and we also believe very strongly in the second one. It's recommended that building leadership address the existing belief systems and begin working towards leadership actions that bring about change. That goes back to climate and culture. The Renaissance program needs to continually do what they've been doing. We need to develop and reward, celebrate on a regular basis what goes on. We're also looking at ways that we can incorporate the staff with that. We began doing that. We have what we call the Renaissance Oversight Committee. We nicknamed it the ROC. The ROC has been empowered to look at ways that we can improve culture and climate and address student rewards, and they've done a great job with that. They keep highlighting that, and I know the students are going to talk about some of the other positives with Renaissance. So what do? Well, the first thing we have already planned, and it was approved, we're very thankful for that from the board, is what we call Shared Leadership Professional Development Program, which is going to be in September. The Shared Leadership is going to be a series of professional development opportunities that will train our school leadership team on shared leadership, to really train them to move the building in the right direction. In addition to just the training, though, we have a coaching piece. They're going to come back and they're going to coach us as we go through the year. So it's not a one-and-done professional opportunity. They're going to come in, they're going to look at what we've done. We've been talking a lot about our mission, our vision, what are we all about, and they're going to help us do that. We really see that as one of the keys to the year, to help us work with the community, to keep moving the work that we started. The second part is climate and morale. We have a professional development program that we were slated for in the fall that's going to really address our existing belief systems of the school. We want to launch that at our November in service. And then it deals with what I've been saying all along, climate, culture, morale. We want to do that all day in service in November to introduce it to every staff member, and then from that point on, we're going to do that in more smaller segments to address the needs that go on in this building. That's something that I would like to see continue throughout, but it's to be the first real PD program to address those issues, and I think that'll be very good for our administrators, our staff, our students, and we'll take that back. Renaissance program, we need to continue to seek new avenues to reward and celebrate students. And again, I can't say enough about the work that they've done. Number 6, professional development evaluation. You can kind of see that some of this becomes a little bit of an overlap, but again, the instruments that are currently in place to evaluate teachers' lessons, document professional development, summarize yearly performance, is more than satisfactory, they said. But again, we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing in that. We want to make sure that that's quality instruction, that we're focusing our energies in the right place. Over the last 2 years, we began what we call academies here at the high school, PLCs, professional learning communities. They have lots of terms, but it's groups of teachers who are coming together to study, to analyze, to be trained, to move in that direction. We did it with smart boards. We're now looking at doing that with classroom instruction that works, the strategies, power walkthroughs. We hope to do that with climate and culture. We hope to keep moving forward with those ideas also. We have a professional development team for the high school that's forming a well-crafted plan, so that's a positive. I think one of the areas that we want to keep focused on is with all these plans that we are being consistent, and you'll see that later here. Teachers and administrators should develop SMART goals aimed at improving student achievement. I think this is an area that we definitely need to spend time on. It's something that I'm still trying to get my hands around and my head around. For basic conversation tonight, we want to make sure that we have goals that can be attained. SMART goals deal with goals that are measurable, they're achievable. So we don't just want to say that we want every student to do something. We really want to have specific goals that we can achieve. We need to be looking at that. We need to be writing that. We need to be studying those ideas. We need to be having the conversations with our staffs about what are we really trying to accomplish. I kind of call it sometimes the shotgun effect versus more of a laser beam. But we want to be specific on that. We need help developing those goals. That's an area that we will definitely have to look at. We're going to investigate all opportunities of common planning time that exists. Our schedule is kind of our schedule at this point, but we're going to try to squeeze out as much time as we possibly can so that we can have that common time to plan and to have conversations. We will try to do a PD element to our faculty meetings, and we also talked about taking our faculty meetings and this year really moving it away from a full 9-12 faculty meeting every time, but maybe make it more specific by our houses, our 9-11 or our 10-12. And again, we've talked about this, and this was a recommendation from CAPA, revenue neutral way of restoring our coaches. We squeezed out some periods for teachers to take that role. That's something I'll work with Dr. Johnson about if that's the direction we want to go in as we do budget. But we want to have that coaches. That was the short amount of time I was here. You probably heard us talk about that. It was positive. It provided real-time support by teachers and their peers. So again, that's something. It's a recommendation. We'll keep looking at ways to do that. We're working on developing professional opportunities. Mr. Honeyman is actually already right now finalizing a professional development calendar for the year that we have all our opportunities put in place. We hope to have that so people can see everything that we're offering. At least for the fall, we have an offerings so everybody can kind of see the direction we're going in. We modify that throughout the year. Our hope is to have that evolve into almost like a college course selection that you can sign up and take courses. So we've been fairly pleased with the direction with that, but we want to expand that a little bit more. This is a critical part of the actions. We need to monitor our unified plan, our professional development plan, our restructuring plan, our CAP recommendations. We need to make sure they're consistent. And that's as we have all these plans, we need to make sure that we can accomplish what we're setting out to do. Year-long professional development, again, Mr. Honeyman, that's one of the areas that falls underneath his responsibility of setting up the schedule for the professional development and making sure that it's available for staff. And again, recommendations have been made during the evaluation process. We want to make sure that if we're making recommendations for staff, that we're providing them with the opportunities to improve. Number 7, last one. Thank you. Strengths. Underneath leadership and the NCLB school committee, we believe very strongly, I believe very strongly that our school, our leadership, and this is from CAPA, we're open to change. I say this all the time, and I don't just say it just to make it sound good. I've never worked in a building where staff has been more open to new ideas and change. They've been amazingly receptive to that. They said the leadership at school is primary leadership style that is collaborative. My hope is to empower the school leadership team. They're the people, I don't have all the answers. Our Renaissance committee has been tremendous with that, so it is a collaborative team approach. Having the assistant principals that I had around me We're looking at that as a student-centered school, and we're going to work very closely with one another to make sure that we deliver that instruction for student improvement. We got to look at our lesson plan format. Again, that keeps coming back. You can kind of see that trend and make sure that we update that. And we're going to be working with, at the district level, across the board. We've kind of been having a conversation almost immediately last year after the capital report came out. Former Superintendent Dr. Chapman called a meeting with Curriculum Instruction Director Kurt Rosinski. We immediately sat down and started having a conversation before school was over. So we're going to continue that. We're going to try to put together some committee with that to analyze activities based on Marzano, make sure we're consistent with those ideas. Power walkthroughs should be used to continually collect academic data, share with the staff, so we can make decisions on the data and improve student achievement. We have done this year, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but consider including teachers was a recommendation in the walkthrough process. And again, we're looking at the restructuring plan, which I presented at the beginning of the presentation. We're going to put together a committee to research lesson plan formats that address student achievement initiatives. That's something we will do this year. We're going to have that conversation in the building with students and administrators and the central office. A representative group of teachers have been trained this past summer to do power walkthroughs. We don't want it to be a mystery. We want the staff to understand what the administrators are doing. We're going to encourage the teachers to be part of that. And we hope that this group will turnkey those skills back to the faculty. So we'll do what does good instruction look like. In addition, we also want them to be available if they want to do it and participate in the walkthroughs, because we want to collect that data and share that data so that we have the purpose of affecting student achievement. And the last, and we've done this at the end, expand our school leadership team, expanded roles, membership to include more stakeholders, and we are already in the process of receiving that professional development on team dynamics. I think that's just about it. I know there's a lot of information that we put there, and I'd be more than happy. You have 7 areas of standards if there's questions that we want to take. I did purposely, even though I did all the talking tonight, the gentleman here and the other assistant principals were critical in putting together these ideas. Each one of these gentlemen here has a lot of insight that I'll defer back to them, so I may kick a few things for them if there's questions that we want to take. Dr. Johnson?
Are there any questions? Yes.
I have a question. Just in regards, it struck me when you were talking about some of the money notes, my thoughts are faster than what I was going to say. In regards to the coaches and the situation in regards to finances for the coaches, have we looked at foundations in Morristown? I know they're looking at districts. Are you familiar with foundations?
I am. I've worked for them.
They're looking for districts, and I know they provide coach. My mother was a coach, a math coach for foundations after retiring from the school district for about 5 or 6 years. And at first they were expanding to Philadelphia, and now of course they're moving into Dr. Johnson into New Jersey. It might be a resource that we can tap into in regards to coaches, because their monies are raised by Annenberg is a big supporter of them.